Caution, this podcast is spicier than a super salsa dance-off at a retirement home. Listener discretion is advised. And your episode begins in 3, 2, 1. Hello, my lovelies. We're back. And oh my God. Do we need to howl at the moon or something here?
Howl? Wait a minute. That does not make sense for this book.
Well, he made her howl.
Hell yeah, he did.
Squeak and all kinds of interesting noises.
Squelch?
Mm.
I don't know what a squelch actually sounds like.
Well then, girl, you ain't doing it right.
Yes, we are talking about squelching. Why? Because you've come to the Lusty Library. If this is your first time here, well, now you know. You have a little bit of a yardstick of what it's going to be like. I am Lexx. I am this week's host, and I am here with two of my most favorite people. Hi, Birdie.
Hey, Lex. I'm drunk already.
It's way too early for that. How you doing over there, Joey?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, my goodness. If this is your first time here, let me tell you what we do. We find a book that none of us have read before, and we are looking for some smut in it. And then we have a few cocktails, 1 or 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4, and we talk about the book. If you're a return listener, thanks so much for coming back. Why do you come back? Because we're just so fucking charming.
I love it.
Today, we are drinking a lovely cocktail that is both inspired by the book and by New England a little bit. I came up with a little twist on the Long Island iced tea, and because we're Massachusetts-based and way back in the day, you couldn't have a cocktail with more than 5 liquors in it.
Oh, Lex, bringing in the history. Oh,
You can't stop this.
Nerd alert.
Love.
This is my twist on a Long Island iced tea, and I'm calling it the Sacred 5. And we will get to later what the Sacred 5 is.
Lex is so fucking brilliant. I'm so proud.
Listen, she's creating her own special signature drinks. They all have an amazing correlation to the book. Oh, stop it. Stop showing off.
It's fucking great. It's a little sweet for me, but it's absurdly delicious.
Fuck you. This is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to know how to make this drink, you can go to the lustylibrarypodcast.com and look at the drinks page. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can sign up for our emails, and we will let you know when the new episode's going to drop, and you'll have the recipe right there. So when it drops, you can be sitting with your cocktail. I love that we're doing this book. I love trying to pick the weirdest stuff. My partner had actually suggested a great book that sounded ridiculous.
Here we are at dinner, and I'm sitting there with Lexx and our partner, and he's like, oh my God, I just listened to this book. You guys should do it for the podcast. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Because him and I are the same person, but I have a vagina and he doesn't. Pretty much.
Okay.
Lexx completely as a type.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, I just listened to Ice Planet Barbarians. I heard there was a big hype. It's really great. It's written by Ruby Dixon.
Oh, God.
And yeah, so Joey's like, oh, well, she's written something else. Here we are today. We are talking about Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon. Let me give you a little synopsis. As a holder's daughter, Aspeth Honori knows the importance of magical artifacts, which is why it's a disaster that her father has gambled all theirs away. Now that her family is in danger of losing their hold and their heads, if anyone finds out the truth, Aspeth decides to do something about it. She'll join the Royal Artifactual Guild and the adventurers who explore ancient underground ruins to retrieve the coveted arcane items. It's a great plan, with one problem. The guild won't let her train because she's a woman. Aspeth needs a chaperone of some kind. The best way to get around this problem? Marry someone who will let her become an apprentice. Who better than the surly guild member who requires a favor of his own? He's a minotaur. It's fine. Who's her teacher? Also fine. And he's about to go into a rut, which is where it gets tricky. He also has no idea she's a noble. Oops. And he'll want nothing to do with her if he discovers her real identity. Now Aspeth just has to pass the guild test, thwart a fortune hunter, and save her hold. Oh, and survive a rut with her monstrous horned husband, who she might be falling in love with. It's time to dig deep. Literally.
I love that summary.
It's so much fun.
The only thing that they really don't explain at all is, yeah, he's going into a rut.
What's a rut?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Like, it
know,
really-
but you don't want to give that away.
No.
That is a detail that you need to crack the book open to get all the juiciness out of.
Yeah.
All right, well, no, that's my first question to you both is, did you know what a rut was before this book?
I could put 2 and 2 together and make applesauce.
Okay.
I figured it out pretty quickly once I started reading.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because as a kid, my dad wanted me to be in 4-H and seeing the 4-H things. That it's like, oh, yeah, Reading. Okay. Yep. Putting this in a different context. But the world here is different. So we know right straight away we are not in our world. We're in a magical world. There's a history here of the world of Old Prel. I like to imagine it as if you took Egypt and Atlantis and kind of the Renaissance, squished it all together, and it sinks into the ground and it's underneath like tunnels. And so in this world, magic exists, but only in artifacts. No personal magic happens. There were the Mancer Wars, trillion years ago, where it got outlawed. It couldn't be people had magic. As a matter of fact, if you were found to have magic, you were executed. That's why everybody wants these artifacts. They have magical powers. So you might have a horseless carriage that does itself. You could have a mirror that always makes you look beautiful. You could have a cup that's always filled with your favorite drink. There's also some that are much, much more dangerous. So the nobles of this world are always trying to have the most artifacts because that keeps them in power. This is where we find Aspeth. She comes from a very old bloodline. She is the only heir. She's a female. She's bookish. She's 30. Woohoo! Somebody who's
Yay.
not 18.
Yeah.
Love it.
Her mom's dead. Her dad is just useless. He drinks, he gambles, he's gambled away the family fortune, and now he's gambling away the artifacts.
Oh, it's so sad.
Her dad is a holder. And then they have a king that oversees all the holders. And the more artifacts you have, the stronger your area is. You can protect yourself. No one's going to come in and try to steal your area.
This whole book reads to me like a D&D journey. So we've got Aspeth and her maid, Gwenna, who I love. I just pictured this little short fireball. She's awesome.
Aspeth, being a bit of a bookish nerd, had no friends. Her dad ignored her, her mom died, and the only person she had any closeness with was Gwenna. Even though Gwenna is her lady's maid, they actually are a bit of friends. I think they have a lot of loyalty to each other.
Aspeth, as educated as she is so naive.
But I didn't despise her for it. I didn't think she was
No.
snobby or
No.
entitled. She was just so sweet and innocent. Any information that she didn't know, she just didn't know. And it was very wonderful to watch her learn.
She adapted really well. And this is something I really want to call out to Ruby, because most of the time I have no patience for landed rich people who, oh, woe is me, I'm going to lose my big fancy house and have to live like regular people. She really wrote Aspeth to be very relatable. And you wanted to protect her because she didn't want to have all the riches for herself. She realized as a landholder, she was responsible for the people who worked under her, because if she's not there, then they're going to lose their jobs. This is what gets her to run away from home with her lady's maid. And she lives up in the mountains in this beautiful rural area and goes to the big city. They talk about how it's built up around the old ancient site because the guild has built themselves on top of Old Prel. They're rolling into town and Gwenna's pulling the cart behind them. The thieves are just looking at the two of them and stealing stuff right off the cart that Aspeth has to sit over everything to keep them from, like, pulling things out.
But it was really charming when she went to sit on top of all the luggage. She was like, oh, well, I guess it's beneficial for me that I have a kind of large derriere and I cover a lot of the luggage. And I was like, oh, sweet girl. Everything she did was so charming.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a brick house.
Yes.
She's very tall.
Yes.
She's curvaceous. The way she described it was, you could tell she liked nibbles, and it showed on her waistline, and she was fine with that.
Right.
Yes. So they arrived there the day before Swan Day, which is when the guild takes all new recruits and you sign up and you try and find a master. Each master only takes on 5 fledglings because everything here is bird related.
So she's signing up to be a fledgling.
Yes.
And they band together in groups of 5.
Yes.
Hence your drink name.
Yes.
And it's the sacred 5. It's a magical number that they've discovered over these hundreds of years of doing this digging to find the artifacts in Old Prell. I just loved that she waltzes in and she's like, I'm going to be called Sparrow. And she just names herself and waltzes right in with it and womp, womp.
Ahead of time, she's been reading every pamphlet she can about the guild, every book. She knows the histories. She can read the old languages. And she's like, they're going to absolutely want me because I'm so educated in all of this. I'm a gem.
This is her big game plan.
Yes.
She is there because she figures if she can join the Royal Artifactual Guild and get artifacts, she can send them back to her father's hold to be able to protect it against all others. So she's been obsessed with Old Prell. She was reading whatever books her dad could get. At one point, her dad had hired a retired royal artificer to teach her Old Prellian so she can read a glyph and understand what it means.
She talks about it kind of casually, but we find out as we go through the book that this is actually an incredible skill that very few people have.
So they spend the first night finding a quote-unquote clean inn.
Oof.
That's a challenge. They get up the next day, and it's just Aspeth who goes. She's going to sign them both up, but somebody has to stay with, we have not mentioned, not only the luggage, but the cat. Aspeth brought her cat because she couldn't be parted from it. It's adorable. She marches up to the guild. She can't even get in the door because hundreds of people there, and, point of fact, they're all men. And she thought there would be more women because her hero is Magpie, who was one of the greatest guild masters of all time. She's found some of the most important artifacts. And oh my God, not only does Aspeth want to be a fledgling, but she wants to be Magpie's fledgling.
Can we just be mega bird nerds for a second here and talk about how adorable it is that her name is Magpie?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
I was rather confused the entire book whenever Magpie came up.
Do you know what magpies do?
No. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Birdie and Lexx are about to school us on nerd things. Please fill us in. What do magpies do?
Magpies collect shiny things, especially the males. It is a very proud moment for them when it comes to mating time because look at all my shiny things that I have. Bing, bing, bing. Don't you want to be my mate? I have the most shiny things, and look how I've organized them.
Well, fuck, based on what happens in the book, Magpie is actually fitting. But I didn't have that historical knowledge, Birdie.
I know. That's why we're talking about it.
I just realized Birdie just schooled us on birds.
That's why I let her do it.
I'm not coming in here calling myself Birdie for nothing.
As Aspeth's trying to get into the guild hall, men are being lewd. Men are trying to put their hands on her. And this is where her training as a lady comes in.
I love it.
She just pushes her way through, and she has this aura about her that they move because she is used to giving orders.
But it's also the fucking umbrella she has in her hand that she's using to whack them with.
Yeah, I was going to say,
all right.
It's a little bit more than an aura.
I was going with her strong personality and the umbrella.
Coupled with the umbrella, Lexx.
That helped, yes. She gets up to the door, and that's when she can't get any further, and somebody pushes back on her, and she's held from falling over by some nice, strong arms.
Me, 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 me.
So, okay. Are we swooning over this Minotaur?
First of all, he's a Taurian.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's a Taurian. I'm
And
sorry.
Taurian.
second of all, Birdie, fuck yes.
So this is when we meet Hawk, who is a Taurian, who is descended, in theory, from the Minotaurs, and there's a whole mythos about that.
Minotaurs and humans had baby. Now you have half Minotaur, half human.
Yes.
AKA Taurian. They have the head of a Minotaur, they have a tail, and they have hoofs. But the rest of them is human.
Hooves for feet, human hands for hands. Very important detail.
Yes.
I also would just like to note that he is described as having a light fur all over his body.
Like
Gets a-
covering a fur.
Oh my God, listeners, you can't see it, but Jerry just did like this subtle little dance in
I
her
did the
chair.
shimmy in the chair.
Do you just like him because his cock is really big?
No, because he is grumpy, he is aggressive, he is in control, and then becomes the mush. He is the archetype of what wets my panties. Human or Minotaur, combination of both. It all works.
The audiobook narrator was fucking great.
I'm so glad you played a little bit of his voice for me, because if you didn't know, I read the books, I don't listen to them, and I might have missed out on this one. I might have to go back and listen to it because his voice sounds great.
Lex, I'm telling you, it's fucking great. It really added to the character of this book in the best of ways.
I have to tell you what happened, though. So I'm listening to the book the first time, and just listening to him, and especially when he's angry, I'm like, fuck, the cadence, fuck, the growl. It is just sparking some sort of recognition in me. So over and over again, I'm like, why does this voice sound so familiar? So I Googled him. He's actually done narration.
He's a voice actor, yeah.
Yeah, for the character of Optimus Prime in the new animated versions of the Transformers. And my brain immediately went to, that's why I recognize it.
Okay.
Because it's a very distinctive voice,
Mhm.
especially with the angry growl, because Optimus Prime always has that.
Uh-huh.
So the second pass, all I kept picturing was Optimus Prime, and I had to wipe it out of my brain.
So if you would like some Optimus Prime smut, we can go head over to AO3.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
You really just gave yourself away as a giant nerd.
Listen, do not fuck up my street cred here. I keep that nerd side of me buried, Birdie. Right now, the listeners think I'm the cool one out of the group. Don't fuck it up. Well, listen, that's what I make myself think,
Okay.
so leave it be.
Birdie, are you swooning for Hawk?
I fought it so hard.
Why did you fight it, though?
Because he's got a tail. It's so weird. I fought it so hard. And then eventually I was like, I do kind of wonder what it would be like to get fucked by a giant tongue.
Because supposedly the tongues are so long he can lick his own eyebrows.
Yeah.
And when you think about the
Yeah.
muzzle he has,
I love that Birdie has her hand over her eyes. I land between the two of you. I'm also fighting it a bit. And I think it's funny that you said tail, because the tail didn't bother me. It's the muzzle and the snoot.
Well, I was just kind of sad because as a human being, I really do like a good makeout session.
oh, yes.
Okay.
And we
yes.
talk about that eventually, how difficult it is to
Yes.
kiss.
I know, but when he can put his muzzle up against her neck and rub it, and there's an extra appendage of the tail.
Okay, they talk about the kissing. She asked, do you kiss? And we go, no, our mouths don't fit that way. And he's like, we do tail play for public affection.
Mm-hmm.
There really wasn't any of that in here.
No, I was shocked.
Well, he did talk about when they're out and they're getting kind of sassy at dinner, his tail is flicking around
Yeah.
and like almost breaks a table in half behind them because he's like becoming a randy boy. It was just very cute.
Rooster, who's the head of the guild, is taking registrations, and Aspeth goes up. She's like, okay, I'm here to register. I'm going to be Sparrow. And he's like, no, you're not. You're a woman. We don't have women here. Women are dangerous. They are distracting. And she's like, well, what about Magpie? And Magpie's different. No, you can't be here. And that's it. He shuts her down. Away she goes back to the inn, crying. Goes tells Gwenna that this is it, that all her dreams have been absolutely doused. And Gwenna's like, I'm sorry, who are you? You never let anything stop you.
I love this fucking girl.
I know.
Love this girl.
Everybody needs their besties like this.
Yeah.
Gwenna's plan is we're going to go to a tavern and find some guild men so we can try and get into the fledgling program.
Yeah, they're going to get on top of that fledgling program. That's what she talking about.
They go downstairs to the tavern in the inn, and they don't find a man.
No, there is this wonderfully loud, vivacious, drunk lady. And that's when we meet Lark.
Lark, whose actual name is Lark, and she's real drunk.
We find out that Lark has a pretty significant connection to the guild.
She is now part of a house. She's going to be one of this season's fledglings.
And they're immediately like, what the fuck? How'd you do that?
She's like, well, my aunt is a guild master. You know, Magpie. Lark, being as drunk as she is, she goes, no problem, we need one more, but I'll get both of you in. Don't worry, I've got this taken care of. You can join me in the nest.
She is just the boldest tomboy.
Yes.
Bold, drunk as fuck, holding her own in this pub by herself.
Yep. I love that she cradles the fresh tankard of beer that comes over and goes, I'm going to miss you, my friend.
Yeah.
I'll miss you so dearly.
Because tonight is the last night she can drink before the training program begins.
Fledglings can't drink.
Nope. They show up at Magpie's nest.
Yep. And who opens the door?
Oh, it's Hawk.
So we're getting it from Hawk's perspective, and he's not having a good time. This is where we find out that he is the assistant to Magpie, that she is a drunkard. He's trying to put together a Sacred Five. It's not just that he has to deal with all this shit. There's a little something on top of that that's making things real difficult.
There is this thing for the Taurians called the Conquest Moon. Every 5 years, this moon brings out of them this insatiable requirement to rot.
They say the hand of the bull god is upon them.
Yes, and it makes them go into this blind fury, fugue state where all they can think about is fucking, and it makes them have an extra amount of seed. It makes them not during this time, which they apparently don't normally do.
Thank God.
Historically, the bull god under the Conquest Moon took a queen from a king and basically fucked her for days. And she birthed 5 children.
Hence the Sacred Five.
Who then were half bull, half human.
And so now during this time, the seed is extra fertile too.
Mm-hmm. It's their mating cycle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And if they can't fuck, they get real irritable. There's a lot of Taurians in the city. They're employed by the guild. They're master diggers. They're used for rescue missions. They're incredibly strong. And they all head out of the city around this time. They get the fuck out of Dodge so that they can go fuck.
He can't because Magpie's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she's wasted all the time. But the other thing that is really special about him...
I knew you would love this part.
Oh, this is what made me go, oh, okay, I'm going to have to be mushy and gushy for this guy, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end up feeling guilty for liking this, aren't I? Yeah. He talks about how most Taurians just go fuck whatever. They go to a brothel, they hire out a lady, and they go fuck her for days on end. When the time comes, they will literally fuck anything that moves, and God help you if you get in their way, because they will fuck you in any orifice that they can possibly find.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to just fuck anyone. He thinks that that's terrible, and he'd really like to have a wife.
Yeah.
So that he can spend his Conquest Moon time with somebody that he actually cares about who isn't just an orifice. And that's what made me love him.
That's where I go, aww.
There's a lot to love about him. There's a lot to love.
So Lark shows up, banging on the door. He's already in a bad mood, opens the door, and there she is, drunk. And he's like, you're not supposed to be drinking. She's like, this is my last night. Get over it. By the way, I found the rest of our Sacred Five. He's like, we don't need to. And she's like, the other guy's not going to stick around. We need these both. And he looks over and he recognizes Aspeth from earlier. He's the guy who stopped her from falling over.
He was immediately a smitten bull. He was not a smitten kitten.
A smitten calf?
Yeah.
Oh, God. He was very resistant. He said no 84,000 times.
Yeah. But a little piece of him was always like, but this is interesting.
Well, he liked how big she was, that she was tall next to him. She had some titties, as they call them frequently in the book.
Which is funny because that word usually pisses me off. I don't know why it didn't bother me.
It's very charming.
And he's like, they're women. She's like, so what? I'm a woman. He's like, women need a chaperone. And I love that Aspeth went, okay, what are the requirements of a chaperone? Do you need a letter? Do you need a person? And Lark's like, my aunt's my chaperone. And Gwenna looks and goes, Aspeth's my chaperone. So Aspeth goes, well, I'm the only one who needs a chaperone. Can I speak with you privately for a moment in your sitting room?
Oops.
Your eyes are popping out of your head, Joey.
Because he does not bring her to the sitting room.
Well, no, she just strolls off to the side room, which she assumes is a sitting room.
Yeah.
Because the dormitories, I mean, they're comfy, they're nice, but they're not what she's grown up in. So she just assumes that this room off of the main room is the sitting room. Nope. What room is it, ladies?
His
bedroom.
I like how she just kind of adjusts and is like, okay. All right, I'm going to sit over here and look very proper, like this doesn't bother me at all.
Best piece of it all, Aspeth is blind as a bat.
Oh, good reminder here.
Oh,
Yeah.
She can't see shit. She has to wear spectacles. But to not give away that she is from a family of prominence, she's not wearing her spectacles.
Because only wealthy people have spectacles.
So it sounds like she's nearsighted?
Which is funny because then they talk about when the glasses are on, she looks owlish, which would mean she was farsighted in reality, but we'll let that slide. Sorry.
Yeah,
Nice
which is
catch,
weird
Lex.
because she gets real close up to shit to see it.
Yeah.
So that would tell me that she can see near but can't see far, but who knows?
No. By definition is nearsighted. I'm just saying this other little detail contradicts it.
So for the listeners who are currently tracking, that is Nerd Moment 4 from today's podcast. More tracking at the end of the episode. Stay tuned.
For every nerd moment, have a drink. Salute! So after some nice little chit-chat, they figure out he needs a wife because of the upcoming Conquest Moon. She needs a chaperone, so she decides to propose a marriage of convenience. You marry me, I get to have a chaperone and be here. You get a wife, I promise to fuck you during the Conquest Moon. Because she comes from an area where arranged marriages are all the time. She doesn't expect love and sex to be the same thing. And he's like, are you sure? This will ruin your reputation. She's like, look, if we don't work out, we'll just get a divorce. He's like, that will ruin your reputation. She's like,
Well, she's also like, I'm 30.
Yeah.
My reputation's fucking done anyways.
I'm a spinster.
Yeah. And she just plans to be at the guild anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he's like, all right. And they go back out to the main area, and she's going to go up to the dormitories with Gwen. And he's like, all right, everybody, you're going to get up at this time. You get up early.
We're going to go get married!
Wild.
The next morning, he schleps her out. They go to a temple, and in front of a priestess, they get married. Bing, bang, boom. Done.
Wild.
My favorite component of this. They exchange vows, super easy. And then the priestess mentioned something about the ring ceremony for Taurian.
Why am I not surprised? You were like,
So the ring ceremony is where she fits a ring around his cock and balls to show that she owns him. And he pierces her cunt with a matching, slightly smaller one to show his side of fealty.
I love side of fealty.
Because this actually means something. Like a marriage that a Taurian has is a very emotional thing, but this is transactional for the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you knew it was going to go far past transactional. Let's get real here.
Oh,
You knew it was coming.
there was a lot of things I knew were coming in this book.
Lexx, you had mentioned we were chatting earlier that this is sort of an allegory for a mixed race marriage.
I love that the little synopsis said, dig deeper, literally. As ridiculous as this book is, there's a lot of pieces here that they're talking about. They're talking about the differences between the classes and the war between the classes, different education levels between genders, touching upon race.
And they even write at the end, nice little nod to gender pay gaps.
Yes. It's all wrapped up in this really cute, fun popcorn kind of story. So that's the best way to do these things.
Yeah.
Don't preach from a box and just scream loudly. Sometimes you need these like more subtle ones to kind of get in there. So they get married and they head back to the guild, and it is swearing in time. Magpie is nowhere to be seen.
Fucking bitch just doesn't show up.
The guildmaster is supposed to be there to present her 5. They are one of the last ones to swear in with Rooster. And Rooster is like, where's Magpie? Hawk is like, she's sick. Again, she was sick last year and the year before.
And Hawk, you're not a guild master. As much as you have respect throughout the guild, you're not a guild master. I was like,
very important.
There's no Taurian has ever been a guild master.
Rooster allows him to stand in for Magpie this one more time, and they get sworn in. The 5 leave, and Aspeth goes back to go collect Hawk because he hasn't shown up yet. She overhears a conversation privately between Rooster and Hawk. And she hears Rooster saying, like, this is it. This is her last chance. She is a mess. She's a disgrace. She's a drunkard. She hasn't found anything in years. She's been resting on her laurels. As much as we like you, we can just have you work for somebody else. Your 5 are a disgrace. They're all women. And a slither skin who won't leave his house off to the side to get into proper uniform. This is embarrassing for the guild. If they don't pass the test to become full artificers, she loses her position in the college. She will no longer be a guildmaster. You won't be able to work here anymore either. And all those others, they either become repeaters or get kicked out. And a repeater is a fledgling who doesn't pass the test and has to restart again. And this is also where we kind of hear that this is important to Hawk because he's paying back a debt to the guild. So there's a lot on the line for him too.
Aspeth is around the corner and she hears this whole thing.
Yeah.
And Hawk catches her when he comes out of the room and he says, this just stays between us, right? And she's like, yes,
of course.
Because she doesn't know all the details. All she heard is that Magpie didn't show up. She's not doing what she needs to do.
Cue the training montages, and there are so many of them. First day, Hawk is having them load up sacks with rocks and making them go all over the city because they physically are not ready. Kip, the Slitherskin's doing just fine because he's used to carrying everything.
Sweet Kip. I loved him so much.
He was the fucking hero of this book.
He's adorable. He doesn't speak. He does all gestures, but they don't touch because there's very much a thing with Slitherskins that touching is very personal. And there's this funny-ass scene where he meets another Slitherskin and they dump their houses and they rub up against each other in the middle of the street.
And that's how they communicate.
It looks so provocative, though.
Right.
You're just like, what are they doing? And they're just having a conversation. Oh, my God. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm from here. You're from here. Oh, great. So proud of you. You're a guild fledgling.
Right. But they're just writhing in the streets.
Yeah.
It looks like they're fucking, basically.
But they're
no,
not.
They're just having a nice casual chat. They're like, oh, Kip, did you know that person? No, he was congratulating me.
Because there's never been a Slitherskin fledgling.
Yeah. Oh, so proud of Kip. I had blisters and chafing just reading through this training montage.
Oh, God, yeah. And Aspeth is not in good physical condition. She's like, I have only been at dinner parties and in the library.
This is where her dream starts to crumble a little bit. And
Yeah.
at first,
Yeah.
I started feeling really bad for her the more I read.
Oh, no, it started crumbling at the beginning when it was like no women. And then it's
know.
just chipping away at it. So she gets back from that first hard day. She's exhausted. She's fucking filthy.
Huck came to call her and said, "You're now my wife.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in my bed."
Yeah.
She's like,
I love this scene so much. He's so sweet. And he's just like, listen, you need to be prepared. I need to train you for what this Conquest Moon is going to be like. And I just want to make sure you're comfortable with all of this. So he decides to have this huge training discussion with her as they're laying in bed.
but it was so descriptive and in depth. He's like, my cocking gorgeous. I mean, it was dirty.
I would say this is our first dirty spot in the
Uh-huh,
book where
uh-huh.
it's just dirty, dirty talk.
But it's also an exposition dump of information about the world, about what it takes. And I also really loved the note of, you will get wet for me, because anyone who's fucking a Taurian around this time also gets the hand of the full moon on them, and they are blessed with,
Waterfall vagina.
yeah, basically to slick everything up. But it's just tons of extremely descriptive information. And he's like, so are you ready for me to show you my dick? And she's fucking asleep. Oh, I felt so bad.
I love it.
But I love the way the story started to progress here. So they train during the day and you learn about the guild and the training and they learn
Yep.
how to sword fight. But at night, it's the two of them together. So the second night, she's exhausted and he tells her to go take a bath.
Yeah.
And she gets up to the room and he's not there yet. And she does 2 pitchers of water and there's a thumbful of water in the tub. She's like, I can stay dirty. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'll wash outside.
She's like, I can't possibly lift another pitcher. Like, how do people do this?
And she's used to people doing it for her.
Right.
Nice and heated. And she just shows up to this nice big full bath.
Here's a knock at the door and it's Hawk and she tells him to come in and he's like, oh, I thought you would have bathed already. And she says, well, I've decided to stay dirty because the thought of getting enough water to bathe in is just exhausting.
He's like, I'll be right back.
So this is where he starts to show his true colors, and I became a smitten kitten for him every single time. He comes back with a gigantic jug, almost the size of half of her body. He fills the tub.
So 2 things. 1, the show of strength to
Yeah.
have a barrel full of water. Like nothing. 2, the consideration. Because she's like, I didn't want to ask for anything like that. And he's like, you're my wife. Of course I would do this for you. Oh, that's what we all want to hear.
Mm-hmm. But then she rips her clothes off, jumps in the tub,
Yeah.
and then he's considerate again. Says, do you want me to wash your back?
She's dancing in her seat again.
Oh, so cute. It was these crazy little sweet things that
Yep.
this big Taurian did that I was like,
Well, he washed her back and then he handed her the washcloth and he started massaging her neck
'cause
and
she had a
shoulder.
bruise. So the massage is going on until Aspeth moans. And then fucking Hawk loses it. And he steps away from her. Because now he's as hard as a rock after hearing her moan. So she gets out of the tub after washing. He's hard as a rock. She's zooming in on his crotch. And then he says, okay, are you ready to see what an engorged Taurian cock looks like?
Because he's like, I don't know if you remember last night.
Oh, the conversation you tried to have with me after you ran me around the city all day with a backpack of rocks on my back? No. She's like, but okay, I'll take a look at your cock. So he whips down his pants. And of course, the fucking girl can't see.
I know, I love this.
She gets right up into his crotch. She goes, the lighting in here is poor.
Who's
Hawk
killing
is
me with
like,
that?
I can feel her breath up against my cock. She's that close.
And he liked it.
Yeah, he did.
Then she says to him, oh, do you need to see my body? So as she's getting ready to undo her towel, Crash, bam, boom. Something happens and they hear a noise outside.
He's like, goddamn Magpie. And she's like, oh, Magpie, will you introduce me? So he opens the door.
Drunk-ass magpies crashing around the kitchen.
Yeah.
I feel for Magpie because clearly she's had some moments where she's been an upstanding human and she's been talented and caring and wonderful. I've just known so many people in my life with substance abuse issues, and it's like you have a split personality, essentially.
Aspeth goes up to her and is like, it's such an honor to meet you. I've read so much about you. I'm so excited to have you as my guild master.
Magpie fucking laughs at her and says, you're not one of my students.
And then she pukes on her shoes.
Oh, no. Aspeth is not wearing shoes. She came out of the bath.
She's in a towel. So her hero just threw up on her feet. Hawk's like, all right, wash off, go back to bed. I will take care of her and make sure she's okay and doesn't harm herself. And she goes back to bed alone. Little another piece of her dream just smushed. So the next morning she gets up and she and the others expect that they're going to be training with Hawk, and he's gone. And this is where we find out that he gets called away frequently for rescue missions. Because when there's been a cave collapse or they've gone missing or somebody needs to be rescued because they fell, they call in the Taurians.
Let me rephrase. When some pathetic, weak, stupid human fucks shit up in the tunnels, the Taurians have to go in and rescue them.
But they won't make a Taurian a fucking guildmaster.
No. And this is also where we find out that this is not the heyday of the guild. A lot of people are passing that shouldn't. It's not the creme de la creme that are going out anymore. The 5 here have to work with Guildmaster Crow, and they do an obstacle course with another team that's all men, and it's just brutal.
And Aspeth is freaking out, and Gwenna can sense it. Gwenna's like, what's wrong? There's something wrong with you. Because all that's going through Aspeth's head is, oh my God, Magpie's a drunk. Oh my God, she's going to lose her guild master status if the 5 of them don't graduate. So she's panicking, and Gwenna can sense this. And so she's trying really, really hard to get it together with the team, and it's just not working.
So they make it through the day. It sucks, and the other team has been shits the whole time to them. They go back to the dormitory, and no Hawk. But they have a nice little evening of getting to know each other. And this is where we kind of find out that, like, Aspeth came from money, but they kind of get the idea that it's more of, like, a wealthy merchant's daughter.
Yeah.
That's what she's leading them to believe.
But we find out that the priestess is also from a Holder's family. And because she's the daughter of a second son, granddaughter of a Holder, not going to be inheriting a lot. So they pawn her off on a convent. And she did not want to be a nun, so here she is.
Well, wasn't it the Sisters of Eternal Silence or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God, poor thing.
There's this little extra piece that Gwenna and Aspeth are worried that Meriden will recognize Aspeth. But it's such a lovely bonding kind of evening, and this is where the 5 sort of start to coalesce, I think.
Yeah.
Next day, they're ready to do the obstacle course again, and nope. Everybody has to go to the guild hall. New challenge. 2 teams of 5 are going to go into this hall, and they have a visitor. It is not a guild master, but it's somebody from the archives. And they have set up all these artifacts in a room. And the team members have to pick out what's a fake, what's real.
Oh, I loved this.
Gwenna is immediately giving Aspeth the face of like, don't you fucking dare out yourself. Don't you dare. Stop it. Don't win this. Yeah, but Aspeth knows they need to win. They've got to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Long story short, they win, but they don't. The last piece that she gets, Rooster and the archivist go, you picked a fake for the last one. And she's like, no, it's real. You're wrong. Because she can read the glyphs.
And this is such a bold move. They're like, excuse me?
Yeah, totally. The guildmaster is reading her the riot act, telling her, how dare you? Until the archivist goes, actually, she's right. This is real. How would you know that? They send the rest of the 5 away and they keep her back because they think she cheated. So Hawk comes back from the mission, goes back to the dormitories, and his wife is not there.
They're all upset. They're screaming and yelling. And they're like, it's all your fault. Aspect is being held. They called her a cheater. You need to go get her right now.
Because it's his fault for not being there.
Yes.
So he goes to collect his wife and ends up having a conversation with the guildmaster and the archivist of, look, I think she's from a wealthy merchant family. She already told me that they used to buy her books, that she actually can read these things. She didn't cheat.
But they're worried she's a spy.
They think that she married Hawk to get in just so she could spy.
Fucking patriarchy!
But he also says, no, I don't believe she's a spy because they would send someone who could physically do all of this.
Exactly.
But I'll keep an eye on her, and I'll let you know if anything else comes about. They get back to the room that night, and she explains to him how she knows Old Prelian. Her father didn't pay a lot of attention. Her mother died, and she had no siblings. And she spent her life in books.
She doesn't entirely tell him the truth.
No.
She lies by omission.
Yes. And he starts to picture her as a child with no friends.
Yeah.
Because he already found out that Gwen is pretty much her only friend from childhood.
So it makes sense to him. He doesn't sense this being a lie.
He feels compassion.
And completely because they love to bathe in front of each other when he gets out of the tub, he has a raging hard-on.
Oh, but this is when she's laying on the bed with Squeaker. And she asks about kissing. And he's like, well, we don't really kiss because our mouths don't fit like that. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I can't be the only person who's ever married a Taurian. I'm not missing out on much. And this is when he stands up and he's like, missing out?
Oh, so you need to see my body. And he says, yes, I'd like to see that. So he's fully naked out of the tub. She gets naked, lays down on the bed like a corpse with her hands over her chest and looks completely unfucking comfortable. She says, well, if you don't like anything about my body, please don't tell me. I'm pretty self-conscious about it.
He's like, relax. We're just two married people in bed together in our room. And she's like, it's fine for you. You've got muscles. And he's like, you got muscles. And he's holding up her ankle and her leg and nuzzling her. And he's like, look, I found one.
There's a muscle here. It was very, very sweet.
Really cute. Yeah.
And he's like, are you okay with me touching you? And she's like, yeah, no, it's fine. And he knows she's not ready to reciprocate, but he's like, you're okay with this? And this is when we get the first oral.
Oh, she didn't know what was coming, my friends.
I didn't know what was coming, friends.
His muzzle kept hitting her clit. No, that anatomically doesn't make sense.
No, there was tongue. There was a lot of tongue.
Well,
Oh, no. It was his bull ring.
Yes.
That kept hitting her. Yes, because of the muzzle. Yes, okay.
Yes.
Now I got it. I'm on track.
Yeah, he's got all
I got the
sorts
visual.
of very handy-dandy appendages. And this was where I started to go, oh, God.
No.
Does this sound good?
The best part of this. He makes her come, and then he says, I could probably easily make her come again.
And he does.
And she grabs his horns.
You loved that about the other
I
book,
did.
too.
I don't know. It's like handlebars.
There's a reason guys like the ladies with the two braids, you know. There's something about something to grab onto.
While he's giving her oral, he's jerking himself off, and he says he shouldn't keep doing it, that he should be focusing on her, playing with her nipples, but no. The same time she has an orgasm, he comes on the side of the bed.
It's great.
Beautiful.
I loved it. Yeah.
You guys are going, that's beautiful. And I'm going, fuck, now you got to change the sheet.
Worth it.
Damn it.
Worth it.
So the next morning, Magpie all of a sudden is up and raring to go, and she says, we're going camping. We're going to go and do terrain training. Hawk is a little skeptical about Magpie and the way she's acting, but they all go.
Mm-hmm.
They're training overnight to simulate the darkness in the caves, which I thought was a
Right.
good idea.
Yeah.
I was really giving Magpie the benefit of the doubt this whole time, guys. I didn't think she was nefarious. I thought she was just sick.
Mm.
And I was really waiting for her wisdom to shine through and for them to really learn from her and for her to have a turnaround. I was waiting for that.
During this time, this makes sense. It's like they're doing terrain training. They're dealing with going upstream, downstream. They're doing weapons training. They're learning how to make camp, how to navigate. All those pieces are being done. Sounded like Magpie knew what she was doing. During the day sleep cycle, they're getting to know each other. And the first night, though,
As part of them getting to know each other, he tells her how Magpie saved him. How when he finally became part of the guild after 2 years, there was a tunnel collapse. And he ended up losing his hand and they had to amputate it. And Magpie pulled all of her strings to get a magical hand that was grafted onto his stump by glyphs.
love magical figures.
And that's how he owed Magpie. Aspeth is touching them, feeling the glyphs. And of course, she is so inquisitive. She asks all these questions. Does it feel like a real hand? Does it work like a real hand?
Is it able to be dexterous like a real hand?
Mhm.
He's like, well, let me show you.
That's the only time they do anything. The rest of the time, the mornings they spend getting to know each other because as the
Mhm.
week progresses, Hawk is getting more and more surly. There's something just not fitting right, and he's opening up more and more to Aspeth when he's talking about how Magpie is reacting, how he's worried about the rest of the team, that the only one he has confidence in is actually Aspeth because she knows about Old Prelian and she knows about other things that she has read, and she's going to be prepared when she goes into the tunnels, even though she may not be physically able for everything.
I really liked that part, his faith in her.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
He started to run his hand down her nose
Yeah.
because it was so different than his. Like he had an obsession with how different her face was than his. The Taurian's falling in love. The Taurian's falling in love.
They were both madly in love with each
Oh,
other.
my God.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh, but it got so messy.
Oh, let's get into how messy it gets. Towards the end of the camping trip, they're out by the stream and they hear horses. Gwenna comes up near Aspeth and hits her so her bag dumps and she goes, "Oh, you clumsy fool." And the two of them are putting their stuff in the bag, and it's to hide Aspeth's face because when the people on horseback come into view,
It's her ex-fiancé that she dumped because she overheard him talking shit about her about how she was gross and he didn't really want to marry her and whatever.
Oh, but he did because he wanted the hold.
Right.
That's the only reason. He
Yes.
wasn't attracted to her. He didn't want her, but he wanted the power because douche canoe Barnabas, with a name like Barnabas, definitely get the douche canoe moniker, was a second son. And his brother and his wife are pregnant. They're healthy and virile, and he doesn't have a chance to have his own hold. So that's why he was going to marry Aspeth.
Yes, and he's on his way to the guild because this is what the nobility does. They hire teams to go and find artifacts to add to their coffers.
Magpie tells them, oh, this is not the first time this has happened. Other lords have come in, and they generally do this when they're ready to take over another hold. So they want to make sure they're extremely powerful before they go to conquer another hold. And all of a sudden, Aspeth's head goes spinning. She's like, I know what hold he's going after. He's coming for Honori holds. Oh my God, I need to warn my father. Oh my God, we can't go digging for Barnabas. We can't help him in all this. And she starts to lose it.
So they're back at the dormitory. Aspeth has a letter waiting for her, and all it says is midnight, the King's Onion Tavern, be there.
She knows who it's from.
Turns out he noticed Gwenna. He actually shockingly remembered her as her lady's maid.
Of course he did, because he propositioned her at one point.
She weasels her way out to go to the tavern, but Gwenna doesn't want her to go alone. So Kip goes with her.
Oh, I love this.
I love because she said, oh, what if he tells anybody? And she's like, Kip?
Who's he
He
going
doesn't
to
speak.
tell?
Who's he going to tell?
He gets her all the way right up to the tavern, and then she's like, you got to go now. Oh, so she goes in there, and what a funny tavern.
I have like 0 notes on this book because I was just listening and having so much fun. I allowed myself to write very few things down. One of the things that I wrote down was the roaring laughter that I had about the King's Onion and the fact that it is named as such because of the royal artifact that was gifted to this place, which is a cup that just produces onions.
Everything has onion. You can order fried onions, stewed onions, whatever you want to eat in the onion form. Here you go.
Every drink has a wedge of onion
onion.
on the side of it, which I just fucking loved.
If Joey didn't hate martinis, I was going to make a martini with, instead of doing olives, one of the other things you can do is an onion.
Oh, girl, I know. I've got those babies in my cabinet right now.
No,
Thank
and
you, baby Jesus.
I knew you
know.
wouldn't like it,
No.
so
Oh, man. King's Onion Martini. God, that sounds fucking great. All right.
Well, Aspeth thought it was a brilliant idea when she saw the half a chunk of onion on the side of her beer glass and decided if she was going to be near Barnabas, she was going to gnaw on that quarter of onion to make him repel against her breath.
he's just like, how far you have fallen. He's disgusted by what she's wearing. He hates that she's in the guild doing labor. This just means that I have to rescue you. You are going to marry me, and I'm going to take you back, and we're going to clean you up.
She's like, but you don't want me. You don't love me. I heard everything you said about me. And then the facade falls away, and he goes, none. You're marrying me. I want your hold.
I want the power that comes with it. I want the money that comes with it. And I want the title. And you will do this.
Because if you don't, I'm ratting you out to everyone, and you're going to lose your standing, and your hold is going to look really bad. So you now have no choices. Let's stop playing games.
And she's like,
Love this.
Nope, I am not going to marry you. I'm going to marry the first person I can to save my hold, and fuck you. Meanwhile, Hawk has gone back to the dormitory, and Gwen is there. He's like, where's my wife? She's like, she had to go. She had no choice. She's doing it to help all of us. He's like, what? Wait, who's she meeting? Where did she go?
And I love this, how he pressured her and pressured her and pressured her. But Gwenna says, I'm really sorry. I cannot betray Aspeth. He was like, all right, well, you gave me enough information. Appreciate it.
She does tell him where she is.
So he shows up just as she's leaving. And she's like, oh, you're here.
So glad you can walk me home.
He is not happy. He's like, who'd you meet? He's already starting to feel possessive.
When they're outside, he says, did anybody hurt you?
Mm-hmm.
Who do I need to go kill? And he's already starting to think, oh, what tunnel can I take him down? How can I make the tunnel collapse?
You would do that for me?
Yes. Oh, my God. She's absolutely in awe that he cares about her that much.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, I totally love that he would murder someone and bury them in a tunnel.
I would love that.
But this is my favorite part coming up.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It's late at night. These streets are dangerous, and he doesn't want to start shit with anybody yet. So they're taking the sly way back, going through alleyways, kind of off the beaten path.
Well, the alleyway ends up leading into the front of a brothel, where there are Taurians in the middle of the street running with sex workers.
And because they're starting to ramp up, it's like, what, a week out from the Conquest Moon?
Yeah.
Even Hawk is starting to feel a little bit like,
On edge.
Yeah.
we're a little bit behind in our training, and I'm a little bit nervous that you're not going to be ready for it. So why don't you just watch what they're doing over there?
I love her response so much. She's like, they're fornicating.
Oh, it gets better. She says, it's very dark. I have a problem seeing what's happening. Explain it to me.
Oh, yes. That was good. That was a very clever way of getting around it on her part. Can we just talk about their positioning here? So I saw him as standing behind her with her back to his chest.
For the beginning of it, yes.
Yeah, and he was reaching around her. He's feeling her up. He's turned her face to look towards them. And then he's like pushed her up against a wall, basically. So she's looking down the alleyway at them. And he's like starting to rub her and he's grinding himself up against the backside of her a little
Yes.
bit. And it starts to get pretty steamy.
After this lovely tryst in the alley, he asks her, "Who did you meet?" And she won't tell him. Unfortunately, this is that miscommunication thing that drives you nuts, Joey. So he avoids her for like the next week because he's pissed that she won't say who she met.
Can you blame him?
No, but she's too fucking busy because now that Barnabas is in the mix, fired everybody to go look for artifacts. Everybody's going down into the tunnels. Magpie is the one that's going to lead the group down in, and they're going to drop 13.
When they check in, they ask what artifact she's bringing down. And the funny joke was she talks about a dowsing rod.
Yep.
And the guy goes, "Oh, okay, so you have a stick?" You know, she says it has all these magical powers, but the guy kept calling it a fucking stick because it's just folklore that this actually does something. And the fact they're going to 13 where no one ever finds anything just says to me she's half-assing it. When they finally get down to the area, you can tell she's half-assing it because she decides to stay in the main area and tells them to go, kids.
She'll watch the camp, protect all the stuff from the other teams, and you just go down there, do your thing.
These are untrained individuals. This is the first time in the tunnel, and she lets them go alone.
I know. That's what started to make me go, oh, no.
First tunnel they go down, they don't realize how dark it is. It's dark as fucking fuck. They're doing okay until all of a sudden above them, they start to feel something. Spiders! And they're like the size of plates. They clearly are like, retreat!
Mhm.
And they go back to the main area and they find Magpie passed the fuck out. They think she's dead. And their entire camp has been torn upside down. Their food, their bedding, all their rations are missing or all over the place.
And she's like, "Oh, it was ratlings." And they're like, "If it was ratlings, they wouldn't have left you."
No, you'd be dead, bitch.
Yeah. And this is where you go,
It was another team that had come to sabotage them because everybody is against them actually being part of the guilds.
Mhm. Second time they go into the tunnels, they actually use the dowsing rod.
I was really, really hoping that there was going to be more of a reveal about this, and there wasn't.
So the whole premise is the only people that are supposed to be able to use this is anyone that has a bloodline of being a Mancer at some point. Everybody tries it, and it does shit for them. They're holding a fucking stick. And Gwenna is the last one to try it, and all of a sudden it starts pulling her.
Yeah.
And pulling her.
Loved it.
And she
So
gets
good.
freaked out and drops it immediately.
Because she doesn't want anything to do
She's
with
like,
it.
I don't have any. I'm a maid.
She's the most practical human being on the earth. Like, I loved sword training. She was like, this is just like stabbing a roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dowsing rod works for her, so it leads them to a wall. But she was thinking of artifacts. So they're like, okay, let's start digging here with their little pickaxes. And they break through. And on the other side, it opens up into an antechamber.
There's a statue in there. It seemed like it was maybe an old bathing room.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they notice in the middle of the floor,
Dead body.
I loved that they all were like, ah, and
Yeah.
ran away from a fucking dead body.
And back to camp. And it turns out that the guild has to investigate because it's a dead body. So they cordon off the tunnel. It's bullshit because that should be Magpie's team's tunnel because the body's there. They can't go in there anymore until after the investigation.
this is the final red flag that raises for me on Magpie, because we come to find out that Magpie and Hawk had a conversation the day before they were supposed to go down in the tunnels with the team, and Hawk had to go on a rescue mission. And Hawk says to Magpie, "Oh, aren't we going down with the trainees? I really should be there for that." Magpie lies to his face and said, "Oh, we had to get another permit to have you come around, so it's pushed back one day. Go on this rescue mission, And then the following day, we're all going to go down with the trainees. She lies blatantly to Hawk's face. That doesn't seem right.
No.
So we come back to the dormitories.
Hawk is there, and Hawk asked Aspeth once again, who did you go meet that day?
Mm-hmm.
And he happens to call her Lady Aspeth Honori. He knows exactly who she is. So Aspeth ends up telling him the truth, what's happening with the hold, the way her father gave away all the money, and the reason why she's at the guilds. Then she talks about how she's wanted to touch him the entire time and how she wants to give him a blowjob. And he's in awe. He is loving every second of this, but he's so torn because now he knows that she is a holder's daughter. He should be sending her back. He tells her he's going to pack her bags and she's going to go.
Major class dynamic issues
Absolutely.
going through his head where he's been raised to think that all holders are snobby. He went straight back and forgot everything he knew about her and just decided to go with what he was trained to know about holders.
He has intense feelings for her. He has been starting to think day after day that maybe he can keep her, that maybe he can have her for a long time. He appreciates her companionship. He'd love to hear her just talk about old Prell at night as they lay in bed and talk about each other's day, as well as have this amazing chemistry that they have together. So this is her first blowjob.
Yep.
And he tries to pull away because knowing Taurians come so heavy that they can fill a bathtub. She is open for it. And I love after that with the look on her face and he's like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. I was like, oh my God, all she wants to do is please him.
I know. It's very cute.
He's like, now it's your turn. And he's starting to get her off and he's rubbing the right spot. And all of a sudden he says, are you a spy? And she gets all upset.
She pulls his hand out of her.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck off of me.
And he said, oh, doesn't this seem like the perfect time for you to give me a blowjob? She's like, I gave you a blowjob because of what we saw in the alley and I wanted to touch you. I like touching you. I like you touching me. She leaves the room all upset, doesn't get her orgasm.
He did fuck that up.
She goes to Gwenna because she needs comfort.
She needs a place to sleep now, too. She's not going to sleep in the bed next to him. She's pissed off.
Yeah. And that's when Gwenna's like, gotta have something to show you. Didn't come back empty-handed. And turns out the dowsing rod did find something.
Whoopsies. Found basically a greater artifact.
Yeah. The next morning, they're in the kitchen. She slept with Gwenna in her bed. They figure out a plan that now they have one ring, this greater artifact, but it's a pair of two. And the ultimate power lies when they can get the both of them together. So they got to figure out how to get back down the tunnel.
Here begins the scheming. She wants to get the second ring so she can send the set back to her father so that they can have their greater artifact. They need to get into the tunnel. They can't get into the tunnel because it's off limits. So now they have to rope in the rest of the 5 plus Magpie to get into the tunnel to retrieve the rings without Hawk knowing. Because Gwenna, quote-unquote, stole from the guild. You shouldn't take anything away from the tunnels without registering it. Aspeth's worried about telling Hawk because she thinks he's too by the book, that he'll turn Gwenna in. And she wants to protect Gwenna, save her family, and still get to become a full-fledged guild member. Ugh, so many things. And after several iterations of the plan, what we end up with is Magpie pays some people off, fakes a tunnel collapse so that Hawk gets pulled away. While he's distracted, then they will go down into the tunnels secretly and go retrieve the other ring. Aspeth's like, I don't know if I can do this now. I promised him I'd be back. And Magpie's like, you'll be back by dawn.
And that's when the Conquest Moon is.
Yeah. Right. Aspeth pushes back a couple times, but the need and everybody convincing her, she goes ahead. She's like, all right, as long as I'm back by dawn, let's go do this.
But holy shit, now Aspeth has been outed to everybody on the team and Magpie.
Yeah.
They all know that her father's hold is in danger of being overtaken.
And her team is with her.
She's relying on them to
Mhm.
make everything okay and find this second ring.
Can I just say, the feeling of desperation at this point, knowing that it was the Conquest Moon time, knowing in the book that we have
Mhm.
not had penis and vagina.
Even though he was trying to get her ready, like, they were
Ugh.
supposed to have sex the night before in preparation, but they didn't have a birth control charm, and it's supposed to be that the spermy wormies of the Taurians, as closest to the moon and during the Conquest Moon, is supposed to be, like, supercharged.
I was so fucking ramped up at this
I
point. I was
know.
like, what the fuck?
It's like slow edging during the entire book.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
every interaction moves the needle more, builds the heat, builds the chemistry. And like, just fucking do it.
But you have to wait a little longer because we've got to get into the tunnels. So, Hawk off. Magpie paid another guildmaster to use a special artifact to do the portal to sneak them into the tunnel.
So they didn't have to take the shimmy and the rope all the way
Nope.
down. They were going to instantly show up at tunnel 13. Magpie is all hype. She's acting all fucking weird. And she keeps trying to get Lark to stay close to her
Yes.
because they're all ready to tie themselves together and rope each other up.
And she's like, you don't need to do that.
And Lark's like, well, now's the time for us to do it. Finally, Magpie goes, okay, fine.
So the five are all tied together and they transport over. And they're not alone in the tunnel. Who's there, my friends?
The Barnabas.
Magpie uses a magical artifact that locks them in to the
Mhm.
tunnel. And Magpie and Barnabas are on the other side of it and they can't get out. Magpie looks at Lark and goes, I'm sorry, you chose them, not me. And everybody's like, why are you doing this? Magpie goes, well, because he's paying me more and you guys are not going to make me any money and I can drink myself into oblivion because I'm going to lose my house and everything. So sorry, not sorry. Oh my God, and what fucking happens next is insane.
How are they going to get out of this? Where do we go from here? And we still have the Conquest Moon.
And now we need to talk about smut or I'm going to die.
You've all been so very patient. Let's grab our sexy stuff.
It's
Yeah.
here. Now enjoy the little bit of sweet at the end.
Yes.
I reach over and tug the shirt over her head and then untie the laces of her corset, grumbling at how many layers women wear. All the while, she pets and toys with my cock. It seems to take forever to get her undressed, but once her clothes are pooling at her feet, there's nothing but soft, dimpled flesh in front of my eyes, and I want to feast on her forever. I cup one heavy breast, pleased that it's large enough to fill my hand. Her nipple puckers, and I stroke it even as I rub my muzzle against her face and neck. Her hand continues to tease my cock, but it doesn't take long for me to get as hard as a rock. I know from my hazy memories of our time in the crypt that Aspeth is responsive, but she needs to be petted a bit first. So I haul her over to the bed, set her down on the mattress, and lie down next to her. I use one hand to play with her gorgeous breasts while I finger her cunt until she's slick with arousal. She makes these sweet, gaspy noises when I touch her that set my body on fire with need, and I stand up to move between her parted thighs, murmuring encouragement as I fit my cock to her entrance. She's hot and wet and clutches at my cock like a glove. And when I rock over her, she moans and wraps her legs around my waist. I like the knot. She pants between my thrusts, her tits bouncing as I fuck her. But this is nicer. Her hand strays down to my arm and she digs her nails into my muscles, her back arching. Oh gods, you feel huge even now. Such flattery. I make love to my wife, my strokes leisurely and deep as I claim her. And when Aspeth comes, she quakes around my cock and holds tightly to me, her orgasm a thing of beauty as she falls apart in my arms. Then it's my turn, and I slide my thumb over her clit, making sure she feels every stroke as I pound into her. Her cunt clenches around me a second time as I come, and then stars dance before my eyes, my hooves slamming on the wood floor as I grind deep inside her, shooting my release.
So worth the wait.
I gotta ask though, Lexx. There was a lot of talk about the knot. The knot, the knot, the knot, the knot, the knot. In the last book we read about the knot in season 1, you were like, no. Did you get past the knot in this book?
No.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's a little bit better here because be only once every 5 years. All right, fine. Just in general, like, I can't imagine that as an every time thing. I would get so frustrated.
This is a book that outlined that when the knot was fully engaged, that the male was giving her 82 orgasms in the interim. Like, how are you bypassing that very important component out of the whole thing? So it's not like they're sitting there going, do, 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 do,
Actually,
do.
sometimes they're sitting there just being sweet.
Yeah.
Well, because there's only so many orgasms. You need refraction time.
And that's my point. I have a very limited span of attention. It doesn't matter what I'm doing.
But how different is it than cuddling post-coital?
It's the option of choice.
Yes, I need the illusion of
Options.
choice.
Oh my God.
Yes. But can we talk, though, about the Conquest Moon? Because I was waiting this whole book to understand what he was going to be like during the Conquest Moon part and everything.
He's in heat. Eyes red. He becomes an animal. No coherent statements kind of my. It was like mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
The audio narration was so good. He's completely blind with rage, ripping her clothes off. And she's just like, oh my God, he's trying to just shove his dick in me and I'm dry. I'm not ready. And she's like, God damn it. And so she's just like, Hawk, yes, I'm yours. And he's like, mine. She's like, yes, yours. And the way she does it is so funny. So
like
funny.
very like almost dealing with a child. But I
Yes.
love there's a greater part to that. You can see how much control she has over him.
Yes.
Because he is in his most virile animal state and she's able to calm him and relax him. And she's like, I have to get ready. How about I masturbate? Do you want to watch me masturbate?
Which I
Yeah.
love.
And he's like,
so good.
yes, mine.
But then she's like, Hawk, do you want me to put your cock in my mouth?
Well, and this is where we see that pheromones hit and she gets the waterfall vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like,
yeah.
oh, okay, well, that's a little bit embarrassing, but okay.
And it was just 5 days of fucking. Finally, the knot would go down. He'd pull out of her. She'd pee. She'd let the river of cum come out of
So-
her vagina.
I actually highlighted this because it made me laugh.
Did you and I highlight the same section where she says that he was bathing her insides with his release? Or maybe the part where she said she felt like an overfilled water skin?
This is the difference between you and me because
Oh my
what's the
God.
piece I highlight? I remember my ladies talking about one thing after sex. Always pee afterward. This is a health thing, folks. This is my PSA for this episode.
She also mentions that her ladies would talk about hopping to remove his seed.
Okay, well, I left that out because that doesn't necessarily work. But the peeing after sex is very necessary for your lady bit health.
Uh-huh.
But can you just imagine sweet Aspeth hopping around in the corner?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Then immediately after she got rid of the pound of semen in her vagina, he would then be up on her within the next minute. Her lady bits were tender.
Yeah.
It was marathon 5 days of rutting.
But I will say, I was almost disappointed at a moment because I was like, God, this is their first time and he's not being like sweet Hawk like I want him to be. Then I was like, No, it's really cute how she's being so sweet with him and so tender. And she is being every bit the lovely partner for him.
Because in those in-between moments when his knot is fully blown and they're taking a moment to relax, he's like, was I too rough? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, he has a couple of minutes
Oh.
of being coherent before the lust sets in, and he's still checking in with her, but he is overtaken by his animal instinct.
All I have to say is I can't wait to read Ice Barbarians.
Hello, book 2 in this series just came out.
Oh, shit.
Joey has it queued up.
Of course you do.
And who's it following?
Gwenna.
Yeah.
Gwenna. I'm very excited.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And it's another Taurian that she deals with, and we'll find out about her powers.
Ruby Dixon gave me goosebumps about a goddamn Taurian.
I know.
Fuck.
I love it. All right, my friends, this is where we rate what we like. But please hold for a moment. I'm going to ask you, listeners, can you take a moment to please go and rate us? Hop on over to your favorite listening platform. Hit the follow button. Give us some stars, and we would love a review. Thank you. We love you. All righty. So now let's rate this book. Let's talk about the romance. You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 roses. Joey, please tell me, how much romance was in this book?
4.5. Was just really two strangers from different walks of life that naturally fell for each other, that really enjoyed being with each other. They grew together, and the end of the book is really sweet. I loved it. After everything happened. He wanted to keep her the entire time. Like, this is the first person he's ever felt like he could have a future with. I really thought it was sweet. And not only that, but there was love between the team. They grew to be so strong together, and they loved each other at the end, that they had each other's back. It was a 4.5 for me. I loved this.
She has little hearts in her eyes. It's amazing. All right, Birdie.
I am also giving this a 4.5. And I want to throw it out there that I think that even though there was a slight moment of miscommunication trope that would knock a score like this down for me, this was not a miscommunication trope in my book. It was just she was lying to him and he didn't like it. That's very different from the bullshit miscommunication tropes that we get in other places. So I just want to make sure people are clear on that. This was just a hard moment for them that they powered through. They got over, they recovered, and their love was stronger for it in the end. Romantic as fuck. So cute. God, I loved both of them. I loved both of them together. They were greater than the sum of their parts. They were adorable as fuck. 4.5.
Love it. I think this might be the first time in a long time we are agreed across the board. 4.5 for me. Because, yeah, I love them together. And watching them grow is just so fucking cute. Their little inner monologues are always talking about how they want to be better for the other person. They want to take care of the other person or protect the other person. And they're frustrated about certain aspects. But in the end, they just want that other person to have a better life. I love at the end when there's something that Hawk achieves and how proud Asmith is.
I cried.
Right?
I literally shed a fucking tear.
Yes, they love the physical component of each other, but they love each other's minds too. And that's always going to get me right in the feels. Because once the passion kind of tapers off, you've got the other as your bed companion. And you can tell they're going to just enjoy each other till they're old and gray. And I love that.
Yeah.
So 4.5. Smut. What are you giving this for smut? How wet are we? 1 to 5 raindrops, Birdie.
I'm giving this a 4. If he was a human, I would give it a 5. I just have a hard time getting over the fact that he's not a human. I don't find the bovine elements of his face to be all that attractive, so it knocked it down for me when I was like envisioning everything. I was like, oh, but the dirty talk, great. The amount of smut, In with a super fun story, great. The descriptions, great. Solid 4.
Joey.
So I'm actually really tossed up about this.
Okay.
Because there was a good amount of smut and a lot of it was build and discovery. And I like that. Like she
Mhm.
was learning all these new things and he was definitely alpha in the bedroom. I could get past that he's a bull. No issue. I thought there was very sexy components to that. For some reason, this didn't steam me up. I wasn't reading these scenes with like chills or having to change my panties. I don't know what it was. I mean, it was beautifully written. There was an ample amount of it. The
Mhm.
end was really nice. It just didn't make my hair stand on end. And I don't know what was missing out of it. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Was it hot? Yes. It landed me at a 3.75.
Mm.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't do it for
Yeah,
you.
it just
you know?
didn't hit the right way.
Maybe you weren't reading it during the correct moon cycle.
Maybe that's what it was.
I'm all about that.
I'm also torn on this. If it was a human, I would probably rate it higher, but I just can't get past. And it's different than the other books we read where it was a demon. I think I was better with the demon than I am with the bull.
A bullface is an animal.
Yeah.
That's very different.
Does that give you bestiality feel?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
Even though this is a mythological creature that...
Yes.
Okay.
My modern brain is just having a hard time bopping around that. So, like, I would find these scenes hot and then talk about the muzzle, and I'd be like, no.
But
Yeah.
this is why we can't have nice things.
know.
Because the two of you have a tough time by taking that rational brain, putting it in a box and shoving it under your bed. You're reading a fantasy novel. Put yourself in that world.
Joey,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I gave it a 4 for Christ's sake.
Ah,
A
can't
4
have
is a-
nice things.
Excellent score. Wait till the end, Joey. We're not done.
Yeah. I'm at a 3.5 because every time I realized it was a Taurian, it would just stop me.
I hear you.
But then other pieces of it would be hot. Like the tongue sounds great. I'm all about that. Horns for handholds, maybe I am at a 3.75. But I would miss the kissing also.
Yeah.
Story. Anywhere from 1 to 5 storybooks. How you feeling about this, Joey?
Oh, it's a 4 for me all the way. I read a lot of romantasy. It happens to be one of my top subgenres that I read. There are books that are so intense in their world building, and I know a lot of romantasy readers are drawn to that.
Mm-hmm.
That is their favorite. For me, that takes a lot of bandwidth because I need to understand what is happening. So when you're building a complete, gigantic world for me, and you're talking about all these houses and all these particular rules, I need to have it make sense in my head for me to follow the storyline. This is a little bit of a lighter fare. There was a complete world build, but it was still light enough to easily digest and understand. So that's what made it fun for me. It didn't need to pull 100% of my brain to be able to follow into the story, but it was still unique. It was still fun. I liked the way the world felt. It was a great ride for me, a 4.
Go ahead, Birdie. Tell me what you think.
I completely agree with everything you just said, Joey, but for me, that lands me at a 4.75
Nice.
because I highly value a fantasy style book that doesn't make me fucking exhausted to read.
Yeah.
I will put it down in 1 second. I have actually started reading multiple romantasy, fantasy type books because I can't get through the first or second fucking page. I'm like, stop with the 6-syllable fucking names of everything and giving me a description of every fucking map. You can do better than that.
Oh, yeah, and they'll go in the first 10 pages, and they will just tell you about all the words,
Right.
all the houses, all the bloodlines and everything, and you're like,
No.
holy fucking shit, you want me to keep track of that?
A better writer will do it better. Yaros, what's up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Read that shit like it was going out of style.
And her worlds were deep.
Extremely deep, extremely detailed. This is similar. It's a completely different world. I had such a vivid idea of what everything looked like and felt like, and the textures and the smells. I was pleasantly surprised by the twists and the turns of the story. It had a lot of depth to it while also remaining hilarious. It was like, what is it? The sweet, salty, spicy umami. She gave us all of it. Extremely good. I'm almost like giving it a 5. I love it. I can't wait to read more of her work. I'm going to give it a 5. Let's just give it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I really, really, really liked it.
All right. I'm at a 4.5, which, as you know, is high for me.
That's very high.
Yeah.
You stole my thing about the unami.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, drift compatible.
It's so well balanced. The humor versus the world building versus the romance. And I loved the characters. I was so invested in them. Usually there's 1 or 2 characters that I just want to throttle because I don't like the character. Even Magpie, with just being like a very faulty human character, you're not supposed to like her. I guess there's a difference between not liking the character because you're not supposed to like the character and being annoyed that this character exists in a story. And I didn't have any of those in this book, which is incredibly unusual for me because there are just times we've talked about people and I'm like, I can't read this because I need that person to die. I need them to fall off a cliff. They would not be in my sphere of humans.
We see Lex's dark side.
I'm laughing so hard because I'm like, I completely feel the same way.
Who the fuck am I friends with?
Listen, it doesn't come out a lot, but I'm just like, you know what? I wouldn't be sad if this person got hit by a fucking bus.
Yeah.
So I just love the world that she made. And it was so well done balancing the humor and then dealing with like just the politics of culture. I love the whole, here's the guild. This is supposed to be this big, great thing. They're grave robbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dreams squashed.
I love the balance of all of those pieces. So it was so much fun to read. It really, really was. I kind of love it when we read things where you're like, should I find this sexy? I don't know. And pushing those boundaries. Even if I end up on the side of, no, this isn't for me, I still like that we read it. So I can kind of find where that boundary is. So no bovine, thank you very much. Thanks for playing.
Party pooper.
Hey, just think of it this way. You won't have to fight us for the Taurians.
Oh, good.
All right. Let's see. Where do we pan out with an overall score? You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 eggplants. Do we have Parmesan? Let me know. Birdie?
God, I really liked this book. I also thought the cover was cute, too, which helps. It's the nice icing on the cake for me.
Cute.
Very cute.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this 4.75. I really, really liked it.
Nice.
I thought it was super fun. Joey, bringing me into this, never in a million fucking years would I have read this book.
I know.
And now I'm reading it, I'm going, that was fucking fun as fuck.
And I love that all these off-the-wall picks that Lexx has made, you have loved.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking weirdo.
You are growing into such a beautiful butterfly from your cocoon.
Special Zroke, time to take a sip of water.
Joey.
4.75. It was a beautiful mix of great banter, funny story, great characters, juicy smut, great world building. I mean, this was just the creme de la creme. It's something that I greatly enjoy. For me, it hit all the right notes. I think if it had really, really steamed me up, this would have got a 5 out of me. But that's all right. 4.75 is real strong. I have a new author to add to my list. We need to fucking stop this bullshit, though. No more authors that I like. I have the second book. I'm going to start it when we drive away from here today because I got to continue. Ice Planet Barbarians. I got half of the books in the series queued up. I'm ready to go.
You're not allowed to have spare time. Like, you have to have all of these authors because you'd just be dangerous if you had time on your hands.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm editing the podcast, drinking my coffee, then getting ready for my paying job while listening to my audiobook. So that's how my day goes.
Hey, guys, come on down. Drop some coin in the Patreon so Joey doesn't have to have another paying job.
And doesn't have to edit with curlers in my hair at 5 a.m.
So I'm giving this one a 4.5 for an overall.
Nice.
It was fun. for me, the overall score is like, how much fun did I have? Would I recommend it to somebody else? Absolutely. This is one of those that I'm going to be like, do it. It's really fun. It's funny. Yeah, Minotaurs. Come on. Why not? I want the weirdest picks. I want to do all the stuff that's on the fringe, but fun fringe, not dark, makes me feel icky fringe. I think the only reason why I didn't get it with a 5 is because I'm not heading on the Taurian train just yet. Yeah. But hey, Joey, there's your challenge for next season. See if you can break me out of that.
There are so many half-man, half-animals in this book realm, so let's move on and maybe find one that fits you.
Alrighty. I feel spent. Like I've been in a cave for 5 days with a Taurian.
Sign me up!
Thanks for being here. Make sure you visit our social medias, the Lusty Library Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And on Blue Sky, we are the Lusty Library Pod.
Are you confused to where you are right now? Well, don't worry. We'll take care of you. Look down at whatever device you're listening to us on and make sure you hit the damn follow button. That's the way you're going to get notified every time a new episode launches. You don't want to miss a minute of this old grand time that we have here.
Because what's coming up next, Birdie?
What's coming next? Well, it's not anything bovine, all right? We've got not 1, not 2, but 3 people coming on down for the next book. We are going to be reading The Moon and His Tides by Gianna Darling and wow, bellissima.
Molto bene.
Yes. Just to give you a little bit of a tease of the spice that you're about to get into in our next episode, start reading now. Get ready. Oh, it's going to be great.
Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.